sort of gets to that level. But I think she'd certainly give, certainly within all the powers that she is obliged to apply, she will apply them just.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Have you had contact with Susan Irwin? Yes.
I have emailed Susan Irwin and I haven't had anything back from Susan Irwin.
She is representative of the British Horse
Yes,
Society.
I know. I do know Susan. I do know Susan well. Yeah. We haven't heard anything back from them. I guess we're possibly waiting to see how this actually pans out. I'm not quite sure, but I think that it's maybe a little bit out of her hands. I'm sure they're in support. I think, did we have an article in the Horse and Hound today?
Yes.
Apparently there is an article in Horse and Hound today, so actually there's a huge amount of support right across the UK from the equestrian community because Horse and Hound have taken it up as one of their campaigns, so which is fantastic. We actually have to move to the next section now, if that's okay, but you can hold your questions because we've got 3 of these interactive ones to do together, okay? Right, so I'm handing you over to...
I'm now going to introduce Carrie Townsend, who is an equine sports therapist. Is going to tell you a lot about this that I knew nothing about, and other things that could be involving horses. Carrie Townsend.
Thank you. Can you all hear me, or do I have to use this? I've just been asked to give a wee chat to you about the sporting side to Necarne, and my involvement with Necarne over the years is purely horses. I learned to ride there, it must be 20 years ago now, when it was a riding school. I studied there on 2 different occasions, maybe it's not 20 years ago, and then I studied there on 2 different occasions. I got my degree there, and I've done some of the local shows there. I also use it on a weekly basis as well, just as a walker. So what's missing from Necarne? Well, I believe a venue in Fermanagh to support the over 28,000 sport horses and ponies in Northern Ireland, and that was from a bit of research carried out by DARD in 2007, so that's a lot. And the venue's already there, and it's been used, and it's supported all, the entire country before, and now it's lying empty. You know, we need to get it back. I've also said a safe, secure environment for our county's outdoor sporting community to encourage and develop skills and ambitions, a unique training venue for our upcoming sports stars to realise their potential. And that's across all sports, it's not just about the horses. Sorry. So what it could be, I believe a unique activity and tourist hub for our county and the many thousands of visitors who come to Fermanagh. A survey carried out by the Northern Ireland Passenger Survey in 2013, we had 228,000 visitors to Fermanagh in that 1 year. The Destination Fermanagh Survey strategy in 2005 had a vision. It was to re-establish Fermanagh as the 3rd largest tourism destination in Northern Ireland by 2016 and to increase visitor trips by 17% by 2020. Necarne could contribute immensely to those numbers. We did touch on tourism a little bit, but I do believe tourism, the county needs tourism. It brings economy to all our local businesses, and I think it's really important, and Fermanagh is beautiful. So why do we need Necarne? A safe environment, it's enclosed, particularly for the horses, a facility for multiple sports. There's indoor facilities there, so it's not just all about outdoor. We know what the Fermanagh weather's like. There's a perfectly massive indoor arena there that can do so many different things. There's quality surfaces there that were put down when it all started. Putty pitches, which is used for golfing, for example, as well. They're all weather. And also the professional equestrian surfaces. Thousands of pounds were put into that. A top-class training centre, a venue where top coaches can come to Fermanagh to train and support our sporting community. as I said before, more tourism. Necarne is part of Fermanagh heritage, and we want to keep it. You know, why should we give it away? And just looking around the room here, there is quite an older generation here, and I'm sure you have many memories of Necarne Castle, many. What about an outdoor country event venue with music, agriculture, animals, food? Fermanagh is known for all of those things. I've said before, to invite expenditure into local businesses, I think that's so important. Whenever Necarne was in its heyday, Fermanagh supported accommodation, retail, food, restaurants, and there was that many coming to Necarne that people had to stay in the surrounding counties. You know, we really did supply a lot. And then simply leisure, an amazing part of the countryside to just walk around. It's over 200 acres where you can just escape from the hustle and bustle of the towns, and it's just a real gem. Key selling points. Now, when I say selling points, I don't mean to sell it. It's just what it's all about. Multifaceted facility, not just equestrian. So football. We touched on it earlier. A cycling centre of excellence. Cycling's really growing in popularity now. It's all over the TV. You see cyclists everywhere on the road, and there's a growing interest now in the whole cross-country sort of side of it. You can talk to maybe Danny down there at the back. He'll tell you all about it. It's mountain biking and BMX bikes and going across different terrain. Really exciting. It's really great fun. There's a picture of somebody there. I don't know if you can see him. He's carrying the bike up the steps. So it's not just about the road bikes. Walking and running competitions, races. I put a little picture in here. I don't know if you've heard of waggy races. So you've heard of it, yeah? So it's bringing your dog along, and they do 5k, 10k races, and it's so popular up the north, and they love it, bringing the dogs around. And like I say, over 200 acres. Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we using it? Country fairs. Well, we already have the Lady of the Lake. Can you imagine how lovely it would be to be in front of that castle on those lovely punty pitches, and again bringing in the music, food, the animals, machinery, agriculture, you know, the history. An education centre. Well, as you know, it already was an education centre. They've moved that now, but we can continue that on, educating our young sporting people, training clinics. I've attended a training clinic, it was a few years ago, with an international show jumper there, and it was just amazing, and she thought the facilities were just second to none. Health and well-being, and that's something they'll touch on later. You know, being outside and socialising and being active is so important to us all. Another one is employment. Running such a big project like Necarne will provide employment opportunities. You've got the maintenance of it, which is every day, all year round. Education, the admin of it, so you're going to be employing people in the offices, running it, the money behind it all, keeping things ticking over. Management, building and construction. So that's for the future as well, if there are ever any plans to develop it and expand. Landscaping, work experience, and students. Land, I've touched on that already, over 200 acres of beautiful countryside. An open air facility for the public to use to better their physical and mental health through exercise and social activities. That's the thing. My little bit, I would love to see Necarne at the forefront of the equine industry and the local community as a source of recreation, support and culture to ensure the longevity of the estate. And that's all I have to say. Obviously that list of all them activities is, there's so much more. Sorry, I probably should have said all this. There's so much more. I mean, outdoor activities, team building, archery. The list is just, it goes on and on. I have a page here full of it. I've a petting zoo. Why don't we have a petting zoo? Wouldn't that be great? Look at all that land. gun dog trials, sheepdog trials, riding for the disabled, racing, carriage driving. And again, some of these things are things that we had there before. You know, so it is feasible, it's doable, it's there to be used.
I think at the end of this section, we're going to have a chance for you to actually contribute ideas of what you would like to see happen. So as I say, we need to do all this together. So we're just putting forward ideas of what we know of and what potential we know of. So unless you have a question for Carrie, shall we bring on the next one with ideas? And this lady is, if I can.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, the next person is not going to be here physically, but we have a short film. And she's a registered mental health nurse, and she has quite a lot to do with looking after the considerable problem we have in Fermanagh with mental health, I think, as you all know. And I think Carrie is going to be the driver of the film, aren't you? Right. So we'll wait and keep our fingers crossed.
Sorry I couldn't make it to the meeting tonight, so I will try and make this short and sweet. 1 in 5 people have a long-term health problem or disability in Northern Ireland. Fermanagh being one of the highest.
Can you hear that?
Our children and young people are the forgotten generation.